All right, the last product we're going to test here is Last Call, and this one is the best of the best.
Yeah, it's a full TSS payload. So we've got a number 9, and the density of TSS is really going to show through with that number 9 shot. We just saw, how it can improve patterns, a couple times ago when we shot Last Call double shot, but now all of the pellets are number 9 TSS, and I think it's really going to fill the board up. One of the reasons why it's going to fill the board up, I almost forgot, was the buffer, right? We buffer this one too, just like we buffer bismuth. So it doesn't need to be buffered like bismuth does to protect it from fracturing, but the buffer does help that shot flow through the choke tube so that it almost like meters it out of the choke tube. That way it doesn't get bunched up and have flyers that get thrown. So you're going to see a really tight pattern on paper.
Yeah, and like what we saw with Last Call double shot, that TSS number 9 is going to probably penetrate about the same while we shoot it out of this system, but every single one of these pellets are going to be doing that. So I'm excited to see how it does. We're going to shoot a 12 gauge 3-inch number 9, but we're also going to shoot a 410 3-inch number 9. So we're going to go down, we're going to take a look at the 12 gauge, and then we're going to come back, shoot a 410 and show you what the patterns look like there, and then we'll compare that 410 to some of the other steel shot patterns, and I think you'll be pretty impressed with how this little 410 does with this TSS 18 grams per cubic centimeter shot. So we'll see how it does.
Well, before we shoot it, let's cut them open.
Yeah. I keep forgetting about cutting them open.
Okay.
Let's cut another one down so everyone can see the buffer. So what you're going to notice here is the shot wad itself is a little different. It's a little shorter because this shot is so dense that it doesn't take up nearly as much space in the shell. So you got this orange shot wad on here, whereas a lot of the other ones were blue and white. This orange one's just, there's nothing special about orange, but this shot cup is shorter because it doesn't take up nearly as much space. But we'd still pack a ton of pellets in there in this shorter space. So let's go ahead and shoot one of these at 40 yards, see how it does.
All right, eyes and ears again.
All right.
All right, so this is a Last Call TSS 12 gauge 3-inch number 9. Going hot.
Wow. I mean, if any of you have ever shot, and I'm sure a lot of you have shot TSS at turkeys, this is kind of similar to that in the number of pellets that you're going to see on target. I mean, it's pretty amazing. It's a lot of pellets, but not only is it a lot of pellets, it actually fills up that 3-foot pattern very well. Again, like I mentioned, that shorter shot cup, it's still 1.25 ounces.
Yeah, it's still a ton of pellets.
Yeah. So let's go down, take a look, look at one of those gel blocks and take a little closer look at that pattern. So it doesn't, pattern density is like, this is pattern density on steroids. When you're talking about Last Call, all TSS, you squared this pattern up perfect. And again, we're going to look at this block back here, but I'd almost guess that this is actually penetrating a little bit more than what we even saw with,
I think it is,
with the double shot.
Yeah.
Great looking pattern. I would say these are penetrating at least 5 inches.
Yeah.
I don't know if we had any come out of this. It's about a 5 3/4 inch block, and some of these pellets are right up almost against it. I'd say 5 1/4 for sure.
I don't think we had any come out, but there's some that are really close.
And they're all very consistent. I mean, for the most part, everything's penetrating about that 5 1/4 inches. So this is the deepest penetration we've seen so far. The tight, really the most, pattern density we've seen with any pattern that we've done today.
Yep.
And it's just incredible performance for waterfowl hunting. And this is why you pay for TSS.
Yep. If you've got a once-in-a-lifetime hunt, it's worth spending the money on TSS to get that performance. It's not going to let you down.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot that goes into waterfowl hunting. We know that at Winchester. These are the reasons why we take so much time and effort to develop these products. I mean, and that's why we have so many products. We want products for everyone. We want somebody who is a little more cost conscious, with say like an expert, but we also want the best of the best type products here, which is this Last Call product. And we have a lot of products in between. All of them, as you can see today, work very, very well. But this is the cream of the crop right here. This is pretty awesome stuff. I mean, I've been working with Winchester for a long time, and we've done a lot of things with steel shot over the course of time, a lot of things with bismuth, and once TSS came on board, it just takes things to another level. All right, now we're going to shoot Last Call 410 3-inch number 9 shot.
Yep, so we're going to shoot this through a full choke.
So still at 40 yards, full choke, 410 TSS.
Going hot.
Now, first thing you're going to notice there is that pattern is pretty tight. I mean, but again, we're using a full choke here. But this is a good representation of what someone will go out and shoot in the field with a 410. Typically, they're trying to put a lot of pellets on target. As you can see here, actually, you probably could open up your choke a little bit because the number of pellets that you have in this load is incredible. We're going to take an expert number 2 steel 12 gauge downrange, a pattern, and show you the difference, but I think you're going to be very impressed with how this 410 played out.
I can see it from here.
Yeah,
it's incredible.
So again, one thing about it here, so the 410 is traveling a little slower. So what's the velocity? 1350, I believe, on the 410 versus our 12 gauge, which is rolling out at 1425 or no
1450, I think.
1500. So I'll start that over. So one thing about the 410, the 410's running just a little slower. What is it?
1300 feet per second.
Yeah, and then you got 1500 feet per second on the 12 gauge. So there is a little difference there. So I'm interested to see how that plays out in gel. So let's go take a look. So here's the 410 TSS number 9 at 40 yards. And for me, this is maybe even a little tighter than what I would even like. So I would probably open up my choke here. This is a full choke that we used. That's what we had on hand today. And I think it's a good test though to show you folks out there that with a 410 and with TSS, you're pulling patterns here with the number of pellets that you have that are almost similar to a 12 gauge. I'll throw this expert target up here real quick. And you can see the difference. I mean, if you start counting pellets, I'd venture to say there's probably almost more pellets on that 410 target. Now, this is a great target. This is a great waterfowl target for expert, right? This is a
nice and uniform.
Very uniform. But when we go back to this gel block, again, if you remember, number 2 steel is going to penetrate about, I'd say 3 3/8, something like that. And this TSS 410, while it's still traveling 200 feet per second slower than the 12 gauge, it's still getting great penetration, more than number 2 steel. So how about we take a look at this block here and check out the penetration. So this particular pattern was cheated a little bit to the left, which actually works out pretty well for the camera because you're going to see a bunch of these pellets stacked up on this left-hand side of the block. If you remember when we shot the number 9 12 gauge, we were about what, 5 1/4?
Yep.
5 1/4 pretty much consistently. I would say, let me go this direction.
At least 4, I'd say.
I'm saying 4 3/4. Yeah. 4 1/2 to 4 3/4. So you're gaining another inch by having 12 gauge, but you gained an inch here versus your standard number 2 steel. So that TSS 410 is delivering.
Hammer 'em.
Oh man, it's delivering the same amount or more pellets on the pattern with deeper penetration than a 12 gauge number 2 steel. So again, that standard big duck shot size number 2 steel is getting outperformed, and pretty definitively so, by a 410 TSS.
Yeah, pretty amazing. And I think if you're going to go shoot sub gauges, we just showed why you want to go pattern your gun and
Absolutely.
check different choke tubes to make sure you've got the right choke combination for that load.
Absolutely, because when we have a 20 gauge or a 28 gauge, you're going to even add more pellets to that.
Yep.
And you may want to spread that out a bit, and it costs a little bit more to do those things, but you're going to be happy if you do exactly what Jimmy said, which is test these things out beforehand, find out what choke tube works best for you. Some aftermarket choke tubes may be tighter than you really want, or they might be right spot on.